As you can tell, our audio is not all that we had initially hoped for, which makes it all the more important that you please, as a courtesy to one another, silence your cell phones. If you happen to bring a crying baby, they are always welcome in the lobby. So we will open this morning with an invocation offered by Pastor Zach Stevens from Faith Promise Church. Pastor Stevens will be followed by the Central High School Bobcat Company, who will lead us in the national anthem. We will then have Miss Penelope Leatherwood and Mr. Charlie Krieger, students from Mill Creek Elementary School, the newest elementary school, or the newest school of any type in Knox County, and they're going to lead us in the pledge. We do ask that you rise for the national anthem and remain standing for the pledge. Nobody's going to tell you to do so, just as the students come in and get ready. We hope you'll find the right time. Rise for the national anthem, remain standing for the pledge, and then please feel free to take your seats as the students exit the stage. Once the students from Mill Creek and Central have exited the stage, the Honorable Charlie Cesano, Knox County Circuit, Sessions, and Juvenile Court Clerk will come forward to introduce Mayor Jacobs. Following the mayor's remarks, Reverend Pat Polis will come forward and offer our benediction, and after that, you would be dismissed. Again, we thank you so much for joining us this morning. Pastor Stevens.
So grateful you guys are here. Hope you enjoyed that beautiful weather on your way in. But it's an honor. I pray for Mayor Jacobs every week, and so to be here and do this is really special. Last week, I was in Africa and sitting at the Ghana border for 5 hours trying to get in 100-degree heat. And boy, am I grateful to be back in America, okay? But what makes us so great is being united. And there's one thing that tends to divide us more than anything, and that can be money. And so Psalm 133:1 says, "Behold, how good and pleasant it is when brothers and sisters dwell in unity." So I just want to take a second and pray for this moment that there would just be unity as we drive forward for the best of our area. God, we love you so much, and we are just honored and grateful to be able to be here, to serve, and to be able to fight for what's best as we do our absolute best to see the kingdom of heaven come to earth as we serve you at the end of all of our lives. We're all doing stuff. We all have families. We all have jobs. We all have things that we're looking after, and we have ROIs. We have things that we want to move forward. But there'll be a day when we stand before you, and we all want to hear, "Well done, good and faithful servant." And so, God, a massive part of that is us being in unity and looking out for others and seeing your kingdom come here on earth. So I just pray, as I pray weekly, for supernatural wisdom for Mayor Jacobs. What an honor it is to serve him. What an honor it is to follow him. And so, God, I pray today that we would be unified as we press forward to serve the people around us our absolute best so that they can see you, Jesus, through our actions. In your name we pray. Amen.
That's a tough act to follow. Mayor, I'm going to lower this a little bit. You may or may not have to move it up. Good morning. I'd like to welcome you all to the 2024 State of the County Address. I'm Charlie Susano. I'm proud to serve as your Knox County Circuit, Sessions, and Juvenile Court Clerk. It's great to see so many familiar faces, friends and colleagues, and it continues to be an honor to serve with each of you. I first met Glenn Jacobs on the campaign trail back in 2017. We would often run into each other from time to time at this event or that, meeting folks and getting to know them, hearing their needs and concerns for the future of Knox County. I was struck by his work ethic, his intelligence, and his ability to connect with all manner of people across this great county of ours. I still have no idea how you got in and out of that tiny car, though. Having been successfully elected in 2018 and again in 2022, the mayor has shown himself to be tireless when it comes to setting and achieving goals for the present and future of Knox County, so many of which will have a lasting, positive impact long after his tenure has come to a close. He has seen us through many triumphs, as well as some trying times in our community over these last 5 or so years, always present and always moving forward. No doubt knowing that his decisions will impact the lives of so many, and knowing those decisions must be made with strength, fairness, faith, and wisdom. That is the substance and mettle of a true leader. His is a tough job, and I think he would be the first to tell you, as would many of us here today, that our accomplishments while serving in office are due in large part to the dedicated men and women of Knox County and the people that we serve. You need look no further than Senior Director of Engineering and Public Works, Jim Snowden, Chief Operating Officer and Co-Chief of Staff, Dwight Vandevate, and Chief Financial Officer and Co-Chief of Staff, Chris Caldwell, to know that statement is true. If you don't know Chris, he's the guy that everybody is really, really nice to this time of year. My dad would always say to me, do your best to leave people better off than you found them. The mayor has a little over 2 years left on his second and final term, but he is planning for the next 22 years and beyond, pushing Knox County forward to grow and thrive and to meet the challenges ahead. He is doing his best to leave Knox County better off than he found it. Ladies and gentlemen, would you please join me in welcoming Knox County Mayor Glenn Jacobs.
Thank you, Charlie. I am grateful for both those kind words and for your friendship. Before I get to the business at hand, I'd like to recognize the elected officials here today, my peers and colleagues, people who do good work every day for Knox County. There are a lot of them, so please hold your applause until the end. We have County Commissioner Dacia Lundy, County Commissioner Courtney Durrett, County Commissioner Gina Oster, County Commissioner Kyle Ward, County Commissioner John Schoonmaker, Chairlady Terry Hill, Commissioner Rhonda Lee, Commissioner Richie Beeler, Commissioner Carson Daly, At-Large Commissioner Larson Jay, and At-Large Commissioner Kim Frazier. Also, Trustee Justin Biggs is here, Clerk Sherry Witt, Register of Deeds Nick McBride, Assessor John Whitehead, Law Director David Book, Public Defender Eric Lutton. Sam Lee is representing the Attorney General Sharm Allen. We have Charlie Susano, Circuit Court Clerk, and also Criminal Court Clerk Mike Hammond, and Clerk and Master Scott Garland, Griswold, Scott. Also from School Board, Susan Horn and Betsy Henderson. Mayor Kincannon is here today, as is Mayor Ron Williams from Farragut and Vice Mayor Louise Povlin. Also representing Congressman Burchett is Michael Greider and Sarah Fansler, and representing U.S. Senator Bill Hagerty's Emily McCall. And Mayor Potts from Jefferson County is also here today. Let's please give them a round of applause. Now, if you're a former elected official, could you please stand and raise your hand to be recognized? Let's give them a round of applause as well. Thank you. Now, I know what some of you are thinking. As per usual, the mayor forgot someone, and this person has one of the most important jobs in Knox County. But rest assured, I have not. Our colleague and friend, Sheriff Tom Spangler, has had, there's no other way to put it, a brutal year. We all know that law enforcement is a dangerous profession, but sometimes that harsh reality confronts us in the most painful way, as it did with the death of Officer Tucker Blakely. At only 29 years old, Tucker had so many years of life in front of him, yet today all we can do is honor his memory. It's one of the hardest things any sheriff will ever face. Even as he dealt with that tragedy, Tom also faces an immensely difficult personal challenge in the form of serious health issues. Fighting with courage and grace, he continues to lead his office with quiet strength and perseverance. I'm proud to call him my sheriff, and prouder still to call him my friend. Please join me in recognizing Sheriff Tom Spangler. Okay, now have I missed anybody? Seeing none, we shall move on. The other day I was riding up the elevator in my office talking with a friend on the way. We were reminiscing about playing high school sports and how because of the camaraderie among your teammates and the attention that you receive, it was the best time ever. I said, man, if you could only freeze everything at that moment. But we all know, as much as you want to, as much as you might try, you can't. Things change. Life itself is a constant series of changes. And just as we must deal with change in our personal lives, organizations and communities must deal with it as well. The choice facing Knox County is not change or no change. That's a false dichotomy. Things will change. That's just a fact of nature. So the question is, how can we adapt to changes in a productive, positive way? I'm extremely proud of the things that we've done over the past several years, which I feel have made Knox County already the best place to live, work, visit, build a business, and raise a family even better. Obviously, one of the most important things has been the Advance Knox initiative, a complete overhaul and update of the county's land use policies with an emphasis on addressing skyrocketing housing prices, preserving our beautiful open spaces, and limiting urban sprawl. Thanks to the efforts of the Advance Knox leadership team, Mandy Benedict, Kathy Olson, Jim Snowden, Amy Brooks, and Allie Ketron, we have completed the first phase, amendments to the growth policy plan and a new comprehensive plan. I appreciate the many folks who took part in the Advance Knox process, especially our county commissioners, whose engagement and collaboration helped produce a solid foundation to build upon. Speaking of change, Knox County Schools is undergoing a transformation. Under the leadership of Superintendent John Ryswick, the 865 academies are off to a tremendous start. The academies align curriculum with industry needs, providing students with the opportunity to explore various career options and giving them more flexibility to tailor their education to a particular pathway. I'd also like to thank the Knox Education Foundation, Mike Taylor's over there, for their role in getting the academies off the ground. Fielding a talented, highly skilled, technologically proficient workforce is more important than ever, and that is what our schools are doing. This year, Superintendent Ryswick, with the support of the Board of Education, proposed an operating budget of $683.7 million. That's almost $23 million more than the current budget, and I am recommending that we fund the request in its entirety, net of pass-through dollars. That means starting teachers with a bachelor's degree will now make $47,000 a year, and the starting pay for those with a master's degree will be almost $51,000. And by 2026, all our starting teachers will meet state requirements by earning at least $50,000 annually. Additionally, the budget provides enough money to support the 865 academies at all 14 traditional public high schools and creates 114 new positions to support student success, including additional staff for English language learners and special education. Over the past several years, we have opened new school buildings at Lonsdale and Adrian Burnett and built an entirely new school, Mill Creek Elementary, as well as projects like expansions at Bricky McLeod and Sturkey Elementary Schools. This year's budget also supports much-needed capital projects, including solutions at Farragut, Mechanicsville, Lonsdale, Beaumont, and South Knoxville. Additionally, it provides $2 million for school security upgrades. This year's budget also continues to invest in public infrastructure, such as roads and bridges. Engineering and Public Works will wrap up Phase 3 of the Shad Road Extension, the biggest road project in county history, and will begin on Phase 4, which links Oak Ridge Highway to Pleasant Ridge Road. We'll also begin improvements to Canton Hollow Road, South North Shore Drive, and the Marietta Church Roundabout. We should finish work on Coward Mill Road in 2025. We also have 2 pedestrian bridges in the queue. Construction is slated to begin on the Staff Sergeant Ryan Knaus Bridge at the Gibbs Schools in mid-2025, and then on the Powell Pedestrian Bridge the following year. Then there's an important project at Bluegrass Lake where we are installing a permanent pump station to help mitigate major flooding in that area. In addition to these new projects, EPW does the important work of maintaining existing infrastructure. This year, our highway department paved almost 50 new miles of road and helped extend greenways throughout the county. We plan on keeping that momentum going. I have proposed increasing this year's paving budget by another $300,000. Our crews mow the medians and shoulders, run our solid waste centers, and do many other things we rely on, but often just don't think about. They also do a fantastic job of cleanup when storms and disasters hit. For instance, when an EF2 tornado ripped through the western part of the county last August, our crews worked day and night to remove more than 4,200 tons of debris from public and private property. At times, their work can be dangerous. Who can forget when one of our salt trucks flipped over on Berry Road during this past January's winter storm? Fortunately, the crew aboard that truck, Travis McGowan and Chris Smith, sustained only minor injuries. But the nature of their work sometimes puts them in harm's way. Too little attention or public fanfare. Travis and Chris are here today. Would you please stand so that we can give you and all of our hardworking EPW personnel a hand? Knox County is richly blessed with incredible outdoor spaces. Our Parks and Recreation Department works hard to make them even more enjoyable, functional, and accessible. For instance, this year the county won the Keep Knoxville Beautiful Bright Spot Award for the 40-mile-long Knox County Water Trail. To date, we have removed more than 2,000 tons of debris from Beaver Creek, and working with Legacy Parks and Carol Evans, installed ADA-approved kayak and canoe launches along the waterway. Together this year, we plan to open the French Broad Veterans Memorial Park, which overlooks the East Tennessee Veterans Cemetery. Parks and Rec will also build a new splash pad at French Memorial in South Knox County and renovate the one at New Harvest Park. This means the county will now have water amenities in all 4 geographic regions. They also plan to install an ADA accessible playground at Melton Hill, Carter, and Hardin Valley Community Parks, along with building a new pavilion and community center in Hardin Valley. Alcoa and Mascot Parks will receive new outdoor fitness equipment. On the rec side, we will host our first ever outdoor basketball tournament and league this year at John Talchin Park. Please give a round of applause to Joe Mack, the entire Parks and Rec team, Carol Evans from Legacy Parks, and the rest of the folks who joined together to make our county an even more attractive place, both for residents and visitors. Speaking of visitors, I would be remiss and probably in a lot of trouble if I didn't mention Kim Bumpus and her wonderful team at Visit Knoxville. Anyone who has ever been to a UT football or Lady Vols basketball game knows how important sports are to our community. Sports are also big business, and we are quickly becoming the destination for outdoor sporting events in the Southeast. We boast a strong relationship with sporting groups like Bassmasters, the PGA, and CrossFit. There are only 10 qualifying events in the world for CrossFit Games, and Knox County is getting one of them. But hold on, as they say in those infomercials, there's more. Thanks to Visit Knoxville, the USA Olympic team trials for diving will be held right here next month. The winners of that event will go on to compete at the Summer Olympic Games in Paris, giving our friends in France a little taste of East Tennessee. Please, let's show our appreciation for Kim and everyone at Visit Knoxville. Thanks to Marita Black and her team, it's been an absolutely banner year for Knox County Libraries. For the first time ever, we circulated more than 3 million items in a single year. If you break that down, it's about 8,200 books, CDs, DVDs, and downloads every single day. And this month, we're celebrating the 4 millionth book delivered from Imagination Library. The child who receives that book will lead the parade at the upcoming Children's Festival of Reading. And we will soon celebrate the 20th anniversary of our partnership with Imagination Library. Look for a big announcement coming around Dolly's birthday in January. Over at the East Tennessee History Center, we continue to preserve our audiovisual collection, the Tennessee Archive of Moving Image and Sound. This year, we're very proud to work with Mia Warren on her Girl Scout Gold Award. She developed a program to help visually impaired museum goers navigate the exhibits more easily. The innovative program is appropriately called MIA. Now, it's not named after Mia, but stands for Museums Increasing Accessibility. And we hope to see this technology expand to other museums across the country. Mia, would you please stand so we can give you a hand? At our senior centers, we have upgraded the fitness equipment and implemented new programs. April Tomlin and her staff have also installed information boards to warn seniors about fraud and scams. So to April and her staff, thank you for all that you all do. Now, when people think of the health department, they usually think of vaccines, restaurant inspections, and routine healthcare services. While that is all true, it's just a tiny sliver of what the hardworking folks there provide. What truly sets them apart is their dedication and compassion. For instance, health department staff working with Second Harvest Food Bank provided more than 1,600 boxes of fresh fruits and vegetables to elementary school students and their families through a program designed to teach and promote healthy eating. Whether it's connecting just one family with groceries and clothes or 1,000 families with access to healthy food, our health department is making an impact on our community. Thank you to Kevin Parton and everyone at the health department for all of your work. One of the biggest efforts the health department completed this year was spearheading the new ambulance service contract with AMR. Admittedly, this was not easy and it was not without controversy. Municipalities nationwide are facing response time and staffing issues. While there is no easy solution, this new contract is a big step in the right direction. AMR has already increased the staffing, and early indications show response times have improved substantially. And I assure you that we will hold AMR accountable to the new contract. We have also made significant investments in public safety. Last year, Sheriff Spangler and I reached an agreement that netted his folks the highest pay increases in county history. This year, I am again recommending increased funding for his office to pay for software upgrades, body cams, equipment, training, and new vehicles. It's a tough time to be in law enforcement right now. It's also dangerous. I mentioned Officer Blakely earlier. KPD and Blount County also recently suffered tragic losses. So I think I speak for everyone here when I say how grateful we are to our officers, how much we appreciate them, and how we will always support them. Thank you, guys. In addition to policing, there are other factors impacting public safety as well as quality of life. A big one's mental health. For too long, we have treated mental illness as a law enforcement problem, but we're working to change that. We continue to support the Behavioral Health Urgent Care Center, which provides an alternative to jail for people in need of mental health services. My office also worked with Knox County Criminal Court Clerk Mike Hammond, the Judiciary, and the District Attorney General's office to establish a mental health court for adult defendants who have serious mental illnesses. There are only 300 of these courts in the country, and now we have one right here in Knox County. So thank you all for that. Another unique program that I'm very proud of is Elevate Recovery High School, a partnership between Knox County Schools and the McNabb Center. By helping high school students overcome substance misuse problems, these kids get a better chance at success in life. Thank you guys for that, too. The East Tennessee Regional Forensic Center also plays a role in helping law enforcement. The work of Senior Director Chris Thomas, Chief Medical Examiner Dr. Darinka Malusnik, and everyone at the Forensic Center is impeccable. Once again, the facility had an intensive on-site review from the National Association of Medical Examiners, in which they were granted full accreditation. This is the 14th year in a row that they have achieved that prestigious designation. I'd also like to thank Chris for his efforts in giving our veterans the end of life honors and recognition they deserve. Along with Berry Funeral Home, Chris helps arrange burials with military honors for veterans whose remains go unclaimed. And speaking of honoring our veterans, thank you to Buzz Buswell and our Veteran Services team for all they do to help those who have served this great nation. Now, I've talked a lot about change today, but some things remain the same. For instance, I am incredibly proud of our constituent services team, Marcia, Brad, Justin, Mandy, and Tanya. This year alone, they fielded 1,600 phone calls and countless emails. They always treat everyone politely and patiently while trying to solve an infinite variety of problems and issues. Other departments do equally amazing work every day, often quietly in the background. Our Grants and Community Development Department works tirelessly looking for funding opportunities to help Knox County move forward. They're currently managing over $160 million, supporting local efforts ranging from reducing evictions to increasing the availability of childcare. Additionally, through our Department of Public Safety and the District 2 Homeland Security Office, they support the first responder community. This year, working with their colleagues in the city, Jenny Holden and her team at Community Development successfully helped launch the Office of Housing Stability. This is one of many ways in which the city and county work together. So Mayor Kincannon, thank you for always being such a good partner with us. This innovative new center will coordinate with government agencies and nonprofits to better address homelessness in all populations, especially among seniors, veterans, and youth. The Office of Housing Stability hit the ground running, and this year it plans on establishing a 5-year strategy to address homelessness. One crucial move the office made this winter was to create a warming center pilot program. It was key during the January storm. Hundreds of volunteers gave their time and energy to keep the warming centers open continuously for a week straight. Many lives were saved through this incredible feat of love. They don't call us the volunteer state for nothing. Our human resources and benefits team, under the leadership of Stephanie Candler, makes sure we attract and retain top-tier talent, the kind of people we want and need in public service. Zach Webb and his IT staff make it possible for us to come in every day and take it for granted that our computers will run seamlessly, that our data is protected, and that we have access to leading-edge technology. Our procurement department, under the experienced leadership of Matt Myers, makes certain that major projects are bid in a competitive, transparent way, which ensures the public gets the right result for the best price. And our risk management team, led by our trusted colleague, Randy Smith, well, they just worry all the time, pretty much about everything. But then that is their job, isn't it? Seriously, their watchful eye helps keep us safe and out of harm's way and minimizes the county's liabilities. Without all these folks, Knox County government simply does not work. So starting January 1st, I am proposing a two-step raise for general government employees and our sheriff's office, roughly the equivalent of a 2% salary increase. I wish I could match what we've been able to do these past 5 years, but unfortunately our finances are tight. While we do have more money coming in, partly in thanks to some innovative programs coming out of the trustee's office, our expenditures are also a lot higher due to inflation and other factors. We can't print money the way the federal government does. Just like the private sector and all of us here today, local governments are subject to the price inflation that printing money causes. So putting together a fiscally responsible budget is harder than ever. However, all of us must live within our means, and that includes government. Speaking of government living within its means, can we please give a huge round of applause to Congressman Tim Burchett and our U.S. Senators for holding the line on federal spending. At nearly $1.1 billion, the FY25 budget proposal is roughly 3% higher than the current year, with nearly 2/3 of the spending dedicated to Knox County's public schools. I believe this budget prioritizes the things that will benefit our community the most. Thank you to Chris Caldwell, Jennifer Bodie, and the entire finance department for creating a fiscally responsible budget. Under their guidance, the finance department once again won the Triple Crown for government finance reporting for the 4th year in a row. It's good. Out of roughly 20,000 governmental entities across the U.S. and Canada, only around 300 finance departments achieve this impressive honor each year. A lot has changed in Knox County and with government accounting over the years. So how is it that our finance department has managed to maintain that impressive level of performance? Well, obviously, they've adapted to those changes, but at the same time, their competence, dedication, and commitment to continuous improvement have remained constant. And that's true of many other departments within the county as well. You see, just because things are changing around you doesn't mean that you should change what's inside you. In fact, the opposite's true. As individuals, our values and principles help us navigate through uncertain times. They're the lighthouse and compass that guide us. And you should never compromise on who you are. For instance, when I came into office, I said that I wasn't going to raise taxes. Despite plenty of political and fiscal pressure, I have not raised taxes, and I do not plan on doing so. A while back, I walked into my office to see an older lady sitting in the reception area, and she was crying. When I asked her what was wrong, she told me that she was on a fixed income and her husband had recently passed away, so times were real tough for her. She had come down to the city-county building to pay her property taxes, but for various reasons, her taxes were much higher than she expected. She showed me an envelope that had a little money in it. That was all she had to get through the rest of the month. For most of us, $10 a month isn't a big deal. For her, it's crucial. It means choosing between food and getting her prescriptions filled. So when I stand firm on not raising taxes, it's folks like her that I have in mind. As a community, we should not compromise on who we are either. It serves us well. Just look at our business environment. By the way, a huge shout out to the Knoxville Chamber for some big wins and for embracing a vision that propels our region forward in the rapidly evolving global economy. Over the past year, Custom Foods announced a major expansion of 249 jobs and $51 million in capital investment. Axel Logistics, founded and operated by a couple University of Tennessee graduates, is adding 651 jobs and making a $38 million capital investment. And just Friday, Beehive Industries cut the ribbon on a $4 million expansion and 100 new jobs. We've had a company from Germany, our friends at Voitis, come here. And then there's the Greenheck Group, which will develop its 4th corporate campus here in Knox County. Phase 1 includes 440 jobs and $300 million of capital investment with the potential for expansion. This is the biggest manufacturing project to come to Knox County in the last decade. But what impressed me the most about Greenheck wasn't the numbers. When I met with them, they didn't talk about their balance sheet or their P&L statement. What they were most proud of was the opportunities that open up for their team members. They told me that while they manufacture HVAC equipment, their real business is improving lives. Likewise, what attracted Greenheck to East Tennessee was our culture and values. They chose us over bigger, more well-known areas because of who we are. They felt at home here. Let's please show all these great businesses how much we appreciate them with a round of applause. There is no doubt that we live in tumultuous times. Our principles and values will not only see us through, but they will also help us take advantage of the opportunities change brings. President John F. Kennedy once said, "Change is the law of life, and those who look only to the past or present are certain to miss the future." Thanks to our amazing assets, not the least of which is our people, Knox County's future is bright. Yes, there will be growing pains. Yes, there will be discomfort. And yes, there will be missteps. But our job is to keep moving toward that future and the amazing promise that it holds. Thank you. Reverend Pullis, if you will please close us out.
On behalf of the mayor, I would like to invite you Thursday to a memorial service for 8 unclaimed veterans that I will be presiding over at the Governor John Sevier State Veterans Cemetery. We made a commitment when we came back from Vietnam that we would never leave anyone else behind. So if you're available, 12 noon on Thursday on Governor John Sevier. I have been selected to be the cleanup hitter for today. Mayor, thank you. I don't know how you memorized all that. That's just amazing to me. I would like to leave you with something as a benediction. So here's the question. What is the purpose of life? What is God's will for all of us? Well, there's an answer in the Bible, and it says this: to love mercy, to do justly, and to walk humbly. What does that really mean? Love mercy. In a world so polarized as we are, to love mercy means to give somebody the benefit of the doubt, to give somebody a second chance, because everybody deserves a second chance. To do justly. My grandfather, who was an immigrant from Italy, always taught us, do it right the first time, because to do it over costs money. And to walk humbly. What does it mean to walk humbly? to add value to the people around you. As the mayor so eloquently said during all his remarks, every day we learn to add value to ourselves so that we can add value to others. And that's what makes Knoxville, Knox County, and the state of Tennessee a place to live. And with that, in the name of the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, I pray God's blessing on each and every one of you. Have a good day.